Hello. Um, this is your exponential study guide. Okay? This is your exponential study guide right here. This is growth when the number in the parentheses, now it's the part in the parentheses, it's the base, when that is greater than 1. So when your base is greater than 1, it is growth. When your base is less than 1 and 2/3 is less than 1, it's decay. When the graph is going downward from left to right, that is decay. When the graph is going upward from left to right, that is growth. This says a certain population of bacteria has an average growth rate of 3%. The formula for the growth of the bacteria's population is, and you're given this formula, where PO, this part right here, is the original population, and T is the time. This is just another variation of that formula that you have, which is Y equals A to the BX. It's the same formula, they're just calling this A, and this is your base. And it's written as 1 plus 0.03, which is 1.03. So you have a 3%, and they just put it together. All right, if you begin with 300 bacteria, about how many bacteria will there be after 100 hours? You truly just need to put 300 in for the PO, times 1.03 to the 100th power. Put that in your calculator, and you get this. Now, because it's talking about number of bacteria, we don't have a partial bacteria of 0.59. So I just rounded that number up. You could round it down as well, but because it's 0.59, I round it up. And it is an approximation. Okay, the points 0, 1, 1, 3, 2, 9, 3, 27 are on the graph of a function. Which equation represents the function? You have this table, and I wrote it out. X is 3 to the 0 power, that's 1. 3 to the first power is 3. 3 to the second power is 9. 3 to the third power is 27. And you have several to choose from. So you either have a base of 2 or 3, 4, or 5, and you have to decide which one it is. If this were a base of 2, it would be 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 8. You get the general idea, and you can establish that with all of them. If you have questions, you can ask me in class. All right, what function shows f of x equals 3 to the x being translated 5 units left? Okay, if it's being translated 5 units left, remember left is it's in parentheses and it's up high, horizontal movement is, and left is a plus sign. Remember, horizontal does opposite of what our mind wants it to do. If this were being translated 3 units down, it would be this. And you would do this if it were down. If it were up, and that's on the ground, and vertical does exactly what we want it to, but horizontal does opposite of what our mind thinks it ought to. Okay. Which function is being modeled in this table? You literally just need to put, and this is what you do if you're on any kind of standardized test, you just need to put these numbers in for the x and see which one of these works for these points. And this one works. It's just that easy to see which one works. Okay. Which function shows the graph of f of x minus 2? This means that you are translating down 2. And so I just took my asymptote, which is right here at 1, and went down 2. Which one is going down 2? It's this very first one. This one, if you look at it, is going up 2. This one is staying the same. It's actually it's a vertical stretch, or either, this one is either, it's the stretch. This one's a shrink. If you notice, the asymptote's not moving. All right. Which explicit formula describes the pattern? Look. You substitute in D to see which one of them gives you C, and it's this one. You just have to substitute in and look at it, and you can kind of tell this is 6 to a power as you go down. So it's this one. At any time, I've seen this question pop up over and over and over as linear, as exponential. I think there's even one with the quadratic. So with them putting this on the study guide like they are, the EOC study guide, you better bet you're probably going to see it on there. Remember that this represents f of x. So 12 is your x. So wherever 12 is, that's where your x is. This one has f of x in this, but it's got the 12 still there. And this one, it doesn't even have the 0.5. This one has the 0.5, but not the 100. These two are obviously out. You should at least be able to guess 50-50. Okay. Find the average rate of change from 0 to 3. Remember, that's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Here is 0. The point at 0 is 0, 1. You can't hardly see that the way I've written it. So that is the point 0, 1. And this is the 0.38. And you literally just do 8 minus 1 over 3 minus 0, and you get 7/3. So be careful about the interval they give you and be sure you're using the correct points. A population of squirrels doubles every year. Initially, there were 5 squirrels. A biologist studying the squirrels created a function to model their population growth of this. They give you an equation. Basically, you're just looking at the graph, and it says where t is the time the graph of the function is shown. All right, look at the question. Which value best describes the range of the population? All right, realize you're talking range. You're not talking just range of the graph, you're talking range of this. So although, remember, this is infinity, this is infinity. This is negative infinity, and then your asymptote here is 0. What is your range? Your range is going from 0 to infinity. There can be 0 squirrels, and there can be infinitely many of them. There's a lot of squirrels, so any whole number greater than or equal to 5. Why is that? Because at 0, it's at 5. Now, I was looking at this one, and I don't know why I did, because you can't have a negative number of zeros. Over here, this is all a negative number of squirrels. This is negative time. Yeah. T is time. This over here is negative time. So it's going from 5 all the way to infinity. Okay. Even I read that one wrong to begin with. The function graphed on this coordinate grid shows the height of a drop ball in feet after its X bounce. Okay. You can see that I've changed the number of bounces to 4. And it says not the number of bounces. On which bounce was the height of the ball 4 feet? Realize your question is different. Be very, very careful. It's asking the height of the ball. This is the height of the ball. This is the number of bounces. So the height is at 4 right here, which is 2 bounces. So this is just checking to see if you can read a graph. All right, which equation represents this graph? And you notice that I showed you this end here. Here is the asymptote. You have an asymptote at 2. So only one of these has an asymptote at 2. It's this one right here that's got a plus 2 on the end. It took 2 to the x and raised it up 2. The original asymptote of 2 to the x is down here. This number on the end is your vertical shift. This graph's been shifted up 2. I didn't even really need to look at the rest of it. I just looked here. This minus 2 would be down here. And this minus 1 would be here, and plus 1 would have an asymptote right here. So if you don't know, you can always use Desmos and type them in and find out which one of them gives you this graph. That's simple too. You can do that. If you don't understand this part, you can definitely type it into Desmos. Find the final amount for a $2,000 investment at 6% interest compounded annually for 10 years. Put it into your formula. A times 1 plus or minus R to the T. This is growth, so you did plus. You just literally put it into the formula for 10 years, and you find the one that gives you the answer. Find the final amount of a $3,500 investment after 16 years at 5.2% compounded monthly. All right, remember when it's compounded monthly, daily, semi-annually, quarterly, you need to put those numbers down here and here, and you put it into the formula, and you get this. It's literally just plugging it into the calculator. Find the final amount of $4,350 investment after 5 years at 2.75% interest compounded daily. Don't forget to change your interest rate to a decimal. So this is 0.0275 and it's daily. So I'm putting 365 here and here for 5 years, and then put it in your calculator. I would do these things twice to be sure you've done them right. That's just me. You invest $4,500 in the stock of a company. The value of the stock decreases. This one's decreasing 3.1% each year. How much is your stock worth after 6 years? There we are. And there's no need, it's not being done quarterly, or it doesn't say any of those words. So you don't have anything in the denominator or here additional. Okay, fruit flies double in population every 2 days. You have 45 fruit flies on the first day. If none of them dies, how many fruit flies do you have after 20 days? This is just a one that doesn't have a percentage, so you're using y equals a, b to the x. Doubles is your b. That is your b. And then your time is 20 days, and it's doubling every 2 days. I did this one incorrectly. I hope I have the correct answer on here for your choices, but I have done this problem wrong. It just hit me. I'm sorry, you've seen me figure this out. You need a 10 here because it's doubling every 2 days. So I will see if I have a calculator close by, because there's 10 periods. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So I don't know if I did this one correctly or not. 45. Raise the 10th. I don't know if I have the correct answer here. I do. Well, look at me. Okay, the answer here is this one. That's your correct answer. I'm glad I put the correct answer on the study guide and just didn't give you the right answer when I was doing it. But that's the correct answer. All right. I hope you understand why it's 10. It's doubling every 2 days, not every day. If it said doubling every day, you'd put 20. But since it said every 2 days, there's 10 periods where it's doubling. 20 divided by 2 is 10. All right. What number is equivalent to? Literally put that in your calculator. 60 square root of 2. What is the solution to the system? You can put this in Desmos, both of these equations, and see where they're crossing. It's going to tell you that, so it's all right with me if you use Desmos. However, you want one of your variables using elimination to cancel out. So I just chose the first one to multiply by -1. It doesn't matter which one you choose, just choose one. That will make the x's disappear. That's going to go away. And then -2y and +3y is +y. 6 and -1 is 5. So y is 5. Substitute in 5. X minus 2 times 5 is 10. So I add 10 to both sides. That gives me 16. So X is 16 and Y is 5. Be sure you write your answer correctly. Don't write the 5 first and then the 16, because that's what our brain wants us to do. The first one we solve, we want to put it first. But remember, this is a coordinate of points, and the X goes first and then the Y. This one is one I found on your EOC study guide. You know me, I'm constantly putting these things up. This is from first semester. You distributed here and got 4x plus 28. So the answer to distributing is, and then you write distributive property over here. Then to go from this step to this step, I'm taking this 4x and moving it here, so I'm subtracting it. That's subtraction property. To go from this step to this step, I'm adding 7 to both sides. So that's addition, and then I'm dividing by 5, division. If f of x is graphed below, then graph f of x minus 2. You literally, that's a vertical shift down. You just take every point that you can see that's labeled, move it down 2, and sketch the new line. Okay, thank you.